Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to War Hospital. This is episode number 2 of our brand new Let's Play series. Now, if you're already convinced that this is great, and the comments have really suggested that many of you are really excited about this, just as I am, drop below, click that like button now. We can leave a comment later on unless you want to just throw in the obligatory algorithm comment. Now, first episode has done really well. I'm now into launch day of the game itself. I just got my key yesterday for this, so I just put that first episode together last night shortly before the release. While the first episode has done really well and the response has been fantastic, the majority of you are here for one of two reasons, or at least according to that first episode. One, search. You're looking for something specific to content regarding War Hospital. You're interested in the game, you want to see how it's doing. Or two, it came into your feed because you were already a subscriber. The algorithm itself has not put this out there to the larger world, to unknown audiences as of yet. The majority, according to the analytics, majority of those viewers came in one of those couple of ways, and not so many of you being drawn here via algorithm. Now, it's not been completely ignored from the algorithm, but it certainly has not picked up anything. So please help out with that. But let's get on with the game. Now, we've been crazy lucky so far from what I experienced in my test playthrough that we've had 6 survived in a row. Guaranteed you're going to lose that first patient. It's built that way to force you to lose that first patient. It happened in seconds. Since that time, though, we have had every single one survive. That is not going to stay the same. Trending that way, getting as many survived as we can is going to be helpful. But one thing that I'm noticing right now is we have a dilemma on the way, and it's going to get serious unless we find a way to deal with it. That dilemma being our general surgical supplies. We're down to 11 supplies remaining. Some of these surgeries that we're carrying out right now have anywhere from 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 supplies used on just the one surgery. We don't have the supplies to carry on like this. There are 3 solutions possible. Solution number 1, tend to fewer patients, let more of them die. Well, that's definitely not good for our ratio, but that's something we're going to have to do to an extent. Can't save them all. Solution number 2, and this solution seems great on the surface until you look at it and go, holy crap, it's a problem. Train station. Order resources, surgical supplies. To order, we're going to get 5 supplies at the cost of 2. 2 what? That's 2 contracts. We only have 6. Those are our upgrade points. Those are how we get more effective. Those are how we are more successful and more consistent. Spending those on less than 1 surgery is beyond ridiculous. It's not the way to go forward. Ordering supplies, not the way to go. The third method, produce more. You can have 2 engineers running surgical supplies. They can produce it. We have to increase the rate of production. That's the third method, combined with the first method of patients dying. We want to minimize that one as much as possible. We need to increase production as soon as possible. Now, in terms of the assignment, that means keeping at least 1 on all the time. It takes a little bit of time. Speeding it up would help. Getting more engineers would help. Rotating 1 engineer so that we can get some recovery is nice, but that watermill is going to be done soon. I'm going to go ahead and put Chasey into the pharmacy to help out, to boost the rate of production a little bit immediately. But long term, we need another engineer, and we need to increase the rate of production in the pharmacy. So looking at the option of hiring another engineer, it's going to cost us 2 staff points. We only have 1 right now. We do have space to get 1 more in the short term. That can allow us to have 2 of them on there at all times, slowly resting another while continuing on with projects for, whoever your 4th is, and rotationally making that work. We can make 4 work. That's the target, but we need 1 more staff point before we're going to be able to do that. As for the other option, increasing the rate or quantity of the production. Here is our pharmacy in the camp improvements area. We have kind of 3 branches here. One is a distillery. That's going to produce the alcohol. It's good to have, but not something we need in the short term, and that doesn't help us with the surgical supplies. Here, Aberhalden's drying pistol increases production speed by 25%. That's one we definitely need, and we do have the points for it. We're going to go ahead and pick that one up now. What we don't have is somebody to do it, though. I think he's only really going to increase that by 25% anyway. We want it permanently increased, so we'll go ahead and put him on there first. Take care of that. When this other guy's done with the watermill, which is nearly done, we'll give him a little rest and then stick him in there to help. There was another, and that is this area. Region's production unlocks. That's not what we need. So this is the only way to increase the pharmacy production. What about down here? Separate medical storage allows for storing more. Okay, increased storage capacity. Capacity is not the issue right now. It's the rate to try to keep up. All right, well, there's our start point. Let's go ahead and continue on by first figuring out where we're at, right? Operating ward, we have 2 that are working right now. No nurses are assigned, so we'd like to get them in there. These 2 surgeries are roughly half done. Let's go ahead and check in with what is next, though. So they're both being operated on. One is going to be exhausted, though, right after that. He's tired. Maybe we need to put his rest there. Oh, but that guy's serious. We're going to save him. Okay, we'll try. We'll try to put him there. He doesn't have much of a chance anyway. This one's going to be okay. Running into a little bit of trouble, though, on the others. All right, well, let's continue on. I do like that pause option from time to time. 2 in the rehabilitation center. How are we looking there? We've already made a decision on 1. He's going back to the front in mere minutes, and our numbers are looking pretty good on the front as it is. We don't really need to be adding anyone to the front short term. So I'm thinking Parker is somebody to send to HQ so we can get the couple of bonus points for the contracts.
Sir, operation was successful.
The mouse issue that I was having today, I'm going to try to address it by going more console direction and using remote, finding that there was support for it. I'll have to learn how the remotes, but we just lost our first patient. Did not make it through his surgery, so we did just lose a patient. That was actually a patient who was not actively being operated on. That was a patient who was waiting. That was the one who was in serious condition waiting to be seen by the doctor. We have another serious one, 2 more serious ones actually as well, and that could be a bit of a problem for us, and that's why I haven't even assigned them yet. We do still have one in good standing who I think will definitely make it. He's on the shorter side. I think he's probably going to be that next one to go, but it looks like we might be losing these 2. But we have saved 1 more, so we're up to 7.
Sir, may I have a word with you?
Certainly. Tell me what's on your mind.
I was approached today by one of the civilians that stayed in the city. A man named Theo Blank. He was a stonemason here. According to his words, he customarily made a tombstone for each person buried in the cemetery. But with cemetery requisitioned by the military and so many deceased, he will not be able to because of the sheer amount of work.
Well, that is certainly sad. But I don't see anything we could do to help him.
Well, I think I have a kind of solution to this problem, sir. There is a significantly seized rock in the cemetery. We could use it to make a sort of memorial stone and carve there the name of each person died or that will die in the future. Mr. Theo Blank volunteered to prepare the stone and carve the name each time the person dies. All that is needed, sir, is your permission.
All right, we'll go ahead and do this Memorial Stone mission. Now, here's the thing that happened with Glover, the latest patient that did survive. Remember, we had kind of a tricky situation. One died, one made it, but wasn't in great shape after. And that's the thing about survivability, going for the ones that are definitely going to survive because they're going to be more effective in a couple of ways. Here's what we have in his scenario. So the three things is his combat effectiveness. There's 3 chevrons there. He's only able to recover one of those. You can see that red bar as it recovers, it'll recover fully to 1. He's never going to get back to full combat effectiveness, which means on the front, he's a +1, where you could have a +1, a +2, or a +3. So 1 good one back to the front's a +3. Makes a huge difference versus 3 guys at +1. That's the difference between a fully recovered individual versus somebody who just made it. So what do you do with them at that point? Well, we have +1 for the military contracts, but it's only a +1 where the others are +2 or 3. So again, it's like how well they survive is really important, and it's only a 1% gain either way. We're going to go ahead and send him to HQ. And remember, I was telling you before, the train personnel, each time you send personnel, you kind of want to send them in bunches, and really I shouldn't be sending either one of them as of yet. I should tell them to wait. We'll have them be pending for a while and send them together as a bunch at some stage here. They'll be fine in the meantime. We just have to feed them.
Sir, operation was successful.
We have picked up new patients. I think our 2 that are serious and not looking good. I might want to let them go, but I don't know. Oh gosh, 7 resources each. Yeah, we're gonna let those 2 go. Oh, I didn't realize you can inspect further. Okay. Complication chances, simplification chances. Okay. So there is more to it. Our pharmacy upgrade is nearly complete. We're going to go ahead and put the other guy who finished up our other task, put him into the pharmacy so we can increase production. We're now up to 12. We're higher than we were, and we've continued to carry out surgeries. With both doctors taking a rest here soon, it's going to give us a little bit of a chance for the engineers to maybe get slightly ahead. All right, both constructions are done for now. Over that stretch, we've had 2 survivors and 1 death. We're now at 9 and 2 overall, or 9 and 1 with our first 10 patients operated on, but we do have 2 awaiting a slow death, and we're down to 8 supplies as we start a new surgery. So it is getting a bit tricky on what's going on there. Let's see if we have anything. No, right now we do have 2 engineers, but that's making them work faster on those surgical supplies. I think what we're going to need is more engineers as soon as possible, and we do have a way to, well, get 1 more in the short term. We could do an upgrade to improve that for another 4. That would give us 5 open slots that we would want to fill in as soon as possible, but we're back to a number of 10 at least on the surgical supplies as the next surgery is getting prepared. No more space for freight. The freight's full, but our food is doing okay. Rehabilitation center does have 4 patients now. Going in there, we have just 1 waiting on decision right now. There's 10 points worth of either front or HQ selection there. That's handy. But again, we want them going together, so we're going to stall that a little bit longer. I think 10 points worth is enough at this stage of the game to get that moving along. One of the patients that we were denying admission has just died, the second one. So both of them passed away within minutes of each other. Doubles our death count. But again, in the short term, we're up to 15 surgical, and it's making that difference. Making that difference.
Sir, operation was successful.
Our choice is being made as we just succeeded at another. We've got a guy that's in serious condition, and there's resting happening. I think what we're going to do is end the rest and have this doctor go ahead and get to that patient.
Sir, doctor is starting a new shift.
More patients coming in the meantime. Morale's up to 56% now. Supplies are just hanging in there right at 10. Okay, 2 new patients have arrived. Good on the assignments. Let's go ahead and go inside, see both of them look pretty okay. They look like they're not going to bleed out any too fast. We have the rest coming. We're already operating on this guy. I'm wondering if we can actually get this done before. No, we'll let them rest. I think they should be okay and hang in there for a while. This guy's in serious condition now. We might want the doctor to wake up, get that surgery done before it's too late. We're going to move his rest to here. Have him get up and begin that surgery.
Doctor is starting a new shift.
So that's one trick we're definitely learning is doctors aren't going to necessarily get 8 hours of rest. They're going to get 3 hours of rest, come back to a surgery, and then go rest again. Sometimes we'll be okay to do things normally, but not always. And our rehabilitation center has a nurse that is extremely exhausted. The other one is done resting, so we'll get her in there and rest that one.
Sir, nurses are on the way.
A decrease in production costs in both the engineering depot and the pharmacy is probably going to be a good long-term investment for us. We'll go ahead and make that our next improvement. We just had another death right as I was clicking the button for that. I'm not sure who
Engineers
passed.
reached the construction site.
Looks like it was during the surgery. It was. So we do have someone who just died on the operating table. And like that, we went from 6-1 to 10-5. Right now, we are 4-4 for the last 8 casualties. We've also used all of our upgrade points for the time being. The military contracts, we're at 0 for that. But with a group in the rehabilitation center, we're down to 2 that are awaiting. 1 will be done soon. I think when this group is ready, those 5 will make a decision as soon as the timer runs out on those 5 so that they all go together. That'll help us with the train station. For now, we're keeping on top of the food and the resources coming in there, so we're okay. But
Sir, operation was successful.
operation successful. Starting to get nervous with how that's going. Both doctors are going to be resting now. You can see he's at a 10-hour rest. That's quite a bit of time off that they need, but both or all 3 of those awaiting are short surgeries and fairly low chance of something happening, and they're all at least stable. So at this point, it looks pretty good that all 3 should make it. Also in the short term, the engineers are keeping pace with the operating table. Slowly but surely, we're increasing that baseline from 10 surgical supplies to now 17. And with both doctors resting, they're going to have a little bit of time to get even further ahead. 6th patient at the rehabilitation center, but like I said, I'll just wait for the 5 and send them all together. We're not that desperate, especially with our food supply and train supplies the way they are. We are not producing any crazy amounts. We're keeping up just fine on supply until we really increase our numbers. The trains are doing just fine on that part. Okay, that. Ooh, it's only an hour and a half for that other one that we're waiting on. Actually, that's only showing 5 of them. The 6th one is going to be further down the list.
New patient arrived.
New patients.
Doctor is starting a new shift.
Okay, new patients. Let's go ahead. 2 new patients. Both good chances to survive. Yeah, we'll be fine. 1 for each doctor. They'll be fine. That is 18 supplies, though, and we own 18 right now. So at the moment, we definitely do not have spare supplies. We also got somebody getting pretty dang tired here at the pharmacy, but the good news is we did just finish the project, so we can let him rest a little bit longer, and then we'll send Chasey on a break. Train coming in 2 minutes. I think we want to go ahead and make our decision on the rehabilitation center. Okay, pending. I think we're gonna be sending like everyone to HQ right now. We're already good for the next fight, and this is a ton of upgrade points. That's 11 upgrade points right there. 12 upgrade points by sending everyone to HQ. It's a bold strategy, but that's what we're going to do. So they all head to the train station. Which means we're not going to get supplies this time, but we're fine on our quantity. Now both guys at the pharmacy are tired. We're going to need to get that first guy swapped out in a moment anyway. Getting hang in the management side of this. We'll unlock shifts as soon as I can, but we suddenly have 12.
Sir, engineers reached the pharmacy.
12 points, so we can actually get on with that sooner rather than later. What I'm not getting in the short term is staff points, and I'd like to, but it is what it is. But here comes the train. Taking that personnel to headquarters.
Sir, operation was successful.
For the next wave of guys, we'll definitely be sending them back to the front. Increase our numbers there. Morale's up to 56%. New event has popped up. Preparing medical records. Sir, HQ requested us to prepare a report of medical data about the patients. While it's non-top priority, they'll grant us staff permits if we provide them with that. Send a surgeon to prepare data. Surgeon will be unavailable for 6 hours, but gain 2. Hell yeah. It's a complication that I will absolutely work around. We will send them. One is operating, the other one's going to have to do it.
Sir, doctor is starting a new shift.
Unavailable. We've got a timer there on the left. We'll have to check in on kind of where we're at pattern wise here. Preparing medical records, so that's this guy. The other one does not have a rest period set, and the doctor was in the middle of a rest that he was probably almost over. This guy, who is serious, needs to shift position. Alright, change the order a little bit so that we can tend to the one patient who needs us sooner rather than later. It'll be nice to get those staff points because we can get that other engineer in as our first step. Because actually something we can do right now is produce food, and we're not doing it. I'm guessing that's going to be in the engineering depot where we take care of that.
Sir, operation was successful.
Another successful operation, up to 13 now. Numbers have improved. have improved significantly. We're now 7 and 4 on the day. A few at the rehabilitation center. This one does not take train service, by the way, so we could theoretically tell all 3 of them now that they should go back to the front. We're only looking at 5 points this time, but it's 5 points to the front. There's actually a battle here coming real soon too. They won't head to the trenches until their time is up, though. You can see the icons at the front when they'll get there. And first attack is coming, but we're in the blue. Means good. German attack. There you go. It's time. Folks, this is where you win or lose the game. The better situated you are to deal with an incoming attack, the less casualties you'll take. But if you lose, you lose.
Sir, new patient arrived.
And that's game over. So we are going to get extra casualties here. We're going to go ahead and throw in our extra nurse at the operating ward shortly. And we'll pull one away from the operating ward when they need to recover. In the meantime, the engineers are okay.
Sir, medics are on the way.
There's our 2 recently recovered soldiers heading back to the front. They head on their own. And depending on where you were on the front, that was actually pretty common that they were just going to send you on foot. I mean, look, just cross this bridge. That's where the trenches begin. So we are really not that far from the front at all.
Sir,
HQ, meanwhile.
we
lost a patient during operation. So did not survive the operation. Oh, there you go, Collins. You have finished that task. So these two patients both have a great chance of survival. We're going to add him. With supplies topped off once again, the next train is still 7 minutes away. However, I think I'm going to make a decision regarding personnel. We have 3 personnel points. That's not going to get us a 3rd surgeon right now, but I think we're okay with 2. It's the engineer that I want to bring in, but we still have 1 point remaining. Do we have... No, we have our maximum number of nurses right now. I think I'd like to get additional nurses so that we can get one at the operating room all the time and not just part of the time, because it does increase the chances of success of a surgery, and that's the big key to the game, is saving as many as possible. It's not the quantity, it's the success rate. That's really the key to making that happen. It's not necessarily the speed or the resources that we have. We've got to keep up on those, but we're up to 28 on the surgical one, so we are managing that well these days. I need to increase our capacity for nurses, I think, before we use the points so that we can have them come in together. So we'll get a nurse and an engineer at the same time. Once that's an option. And camp improvements, we have 12 points. This is going to be housing, nurse rooms. Yeah, that's easy enough. First time this episode we've had an event pop up in during an operation, and we have 2 options: shorter rehabilitation, cutting it down by nearly 8 hours, or decreasing the cost. I think we're okay on the cost side of it now, but the rehabilitation is not necessarily a big deal at the moment either, so let's go ahead and save the resource long term. That one has a bigger impact on us. The rehabilitation center is going to be operating all the time anyway. I don't take the nurses away from there. I keep at least 1 on site. We've got 1 surgery nearly done. He's alive so far, so it's looking like we might have a success there. New patients are arriving.
Operation was successful.
And that's 1 more. Good.
Sir, new patient arrived.
That's 1 new patient, but the ambulance is still there, so there's at least 1 more patient coming from the front. We are going to have to swap out who we've got at the pharmacy, it looks like. 1 is exhausted. Let's get him some rest. There's nobody resting because
Sir, engineer is
one's
on the way.
upgrading the nurse's room. So that is 2 new patients for us. 1 doctor has just finished his rest. He's about to start his shift, and it's only a 2-hour. And then these ones are looking pretty dang easy too. I might be able to put them both on his. The other one's resting right now, and he's got 8 hours to go. So it's going to be a while before he gets to the patient he has there. Let's get the one that's a little more severe in there first. 16 resources. We have 35. Yeah, that number's looking better and better all the time. So we're managing that well now. We decreased the cost, did we? But we also sped up how they do, and with putting a 2nd engineer in there, it's definitely doing the trick. But we still need that 1 more engineer so that we can start producing food, even though the food is keeping up just fine for now. But as we add more staff, add another nurse, add another engineer, right? Food costs are going to start getting higher and higher. At some point, we're not going to offset and keep up with that. Nurse's room has been upgraded, and therefore we can go ahead and do that personnel hiring now and use all 3 of those points. So one additional engineer, 1 additional nurse. What? I thought it was only 1 point. Oh, you know what? The engineers are keeping up okay. I think I want to get the nurse in there first. Increase the likelihood of success. Now that the supply seems to be not an issue and I'm managing it well enough, the extra nurse is going to have a bigger impact, because now we can occupy all 3 areas simultaneously and have 1 resting and just rotate. Long term, that's going to have a bigger impact. Checking in on the rehabilitation center. We've got 5 points from these 2 survivors. We'll plan to send them both back to the trenches. I think after that we'll switch back again to another round of points, because for now we're looking strong as it is, and we're already adding more points to the front. Fatigue, it's a nurse. We do have a rested nurse, and there's why we need that extra one, right? 3 rooms, but only 3 nurses.
Sir, nurses are on the way. Sir, operation was successful.
Another successful operation, but also our death count just increased. I haven't seen a notification regarding it. I haven't shown you this grade yet, but this is inside the trenches just beyond the bridge. So this area, which actually we have something going on down here. Can I get a look at what that is? Now, almost done. He'll get back on his shift here shortly. And the 2 new patients actually are not looking good. Stable, serious, longer operations. Big survival chance on this one. But oh, the new nurse has arrived. And we now have the option to fill every area. And 1 to rest. Excellent. That's going to give us a 9% boost to the patient state in the casualty clearing station, at least from that particular nurse. I think it's standard across the board, but maybe not. Maybe there's extra bonuses or issues with one. But in the operating ward, 19% improvement to the operation effectiveness. That's big. And the rehabilitation center, we have no boost to that, but that's because the nurses do that, so they're at their standard. I'm sure we can get a boost, maybe with extra nurses or something along those lines, but at least for now, everything is functioning, and we're getting the first hint of bonuses. 19% operation bonus is big.
Nurses are on the way.
You know, we have extra medics, and we don't have an advanced dressing station yet. We will have one. I'm going to start assigning 2 to the casualty clearing station. It's going to make it work a little bit faster. 1 on the cemetery is easier.
Sir, medics are on the way.
As for our engineers, both are busy, both are active. The other one is fresh. Let's go ahead and rest one of these guys. He's not going to take that long to rest, but in a couple of hours, we're going to plan, as we have an operation issue, we're going to plan whatever our next upgrade is going to be. We'll get it started in 2 hours. On the operating table, we have some contaminated substances endangering the patient's life. So we either spend 5 more surgical resources, or we increase the risk of loss of life from a 2 to a 3 star. 3 stars borderline, 2 star I'm pretty comfortable with. If it was 1 to 2, I'd say we're okay. 2 to 3, that's pushing it. We're gonna go ahead and spend the 5 resources. We have been doing well. We've gone from 10, even after those 5 we just spent. We're back to 31 now, 32. It's okay. Still have 10 upgrade points available when we're planning on sending patients back. We're looking good for the next few fights too. We've done so well with things of late. Yeah, I definitely want to get some upgrades on the go, or our next upgrade anyway on the go. We don't have enough staff points for that 4th engineer yet. 2 is what we'll need. We'll make an engineer the next one, so we can start producing food. We are ever so slightly starting to lose out on the food. It's down to 136. Last I saw it was at 140, but that's all. It's about neutral right now, and a small amount of food production would offset, anything that's happening there. As the train just came in and brought us back up. Anyway, more patients, right? Oh yes, 4 new patients. 4 new patients. We are operating on those 2. We are well rested. We're not going to be exhausted by the end of that, which means we can handle at least a short, maybe 3 hour? Or do we go for the 2 hour? Ooh, or do we risk it for a 4 hour? That feels like a bit much. I think we could probably get in a 2-hour, and then, yeah, see, he'll be exhausted by the end of that, and then we'll set a rest. We've got to let this rest finish out here, so we'll assign the other guys shortly. Got a couple tricky ones coming in, so it's going to be hard to get too many survivors out of this. But that operation was successful. Was that the big one? That was, I think that was the big one. It's probably only going to be a 1-star save. No, it was the top one. Right, we're still resting. And we're starting the next operation. I gotcha. But we're up to 18. We're plus 10. Plus 10. Survival over death. It's not a massive number. We were plus 5 at the start of the episode. 12 and 7. 12 and 7 on the day.
Sir, doctor is starting a new shift.
Resources are suddenly back down to 21 too. But that's a big surgery we're about to start. Okay, that also means I can take this a step. Ay. Oh, denied admission. Okay. That's a denied admission. We did deny one. He's only just now passed away. Okay. We want to set rest. Big VIP, hard surgery, 12 hours, but high survivability. He's listed as a VIP, whatever that means. But, oh gosh, there's another VIP, 6-hour surgery. We're going to want to get on that one right after our rest. He's stable. Oh, he talked to us. Okay, we've got stable. How we do it on time? That's a lot of time. It's the guy above that's going to be the better shot we're going to have to start with. Really putting both of them up there. Those 6 operations will use 18 surgical resources. We only have 23 right now. It's still a positive balance, but we're definitely not in some sort of great state like we felt like we were in for a little while. And here comes another ambulance bringing in 2 more patients.
Sir,
already.
new patient arrived.
They're coming in fast.
Sir, operation was successful.
Gosh, there's another ambulance coming in. Folks, we're about to get crowded. No, that one just rushed through. Just rushed through. I said we were going to do an upgrade. Let's go ahead and plan what it is, and then we are going to go ahead and call this an episode here in just a moment. So, housing's fine for the moment. It's the production or the healing that you want to boost, one of those. I think maybe the amputation tools will be helpful. Amputation is tricky because they cannot go back to the front, but it takes 50% of the resources, so it cuts it in half. Cuts the time down by 30% as well, but the patient will be unfit for combat, which means they have to go HQ or pull them out of service. And I'm not sure how that one works, but I'd rather put them at HQ, right, if that's an option. I think that's probably something that's going to be helpful long term. There's a morgue, or we've opened up the chemical ward, extra slot for a physician and for a nurse. I think it's time we introduce the shift system, even though what I'm doing is my own version of a shift system and it's working, at least with the numbers we have right now. Adding the shift system might actually make things harder in the short term until we have higher numbers. Therefore, I'm going to go back to the production side and see what we can do in the short term to help ourselves out here. Maybe the nutritious rations. Improving morale, but morale's not great. Morale's at 54%. It doesn't go up much when you keep losing patients, and even though we're not losing them rapidly, we are losing them. The warehouse, providing a truck that can be sent to depots in Scout Map. I'm interested in seeing what happens there. Sure, let's unlock that one. Or will it let me? No, I don't have whatever it needs. I don't have yet. Guessing we have to progress the story a little bit to unlock that one. An autoclave is going to increase production speed by 25% in the pharmacy, and while we've been hovering on neutral for a little while for our resources, I think that's going to be helpful. It seems like we're getting a rush of patients in here, and that's going to make things a little harder. So this autoclave is going to make something a little easier for us, and that seems to be the way to go. 4 hours to get that one done. And with that, on 19 and 9 and a plus 10 on patience saved, I think this is the perfect time
Sir, entry has reached the construction site.
to call that an episode. Thank you for being with me. I'm Decathlon Gamer. If you didn't do so at the beginning of the episode, please take a moment, drop down below, click that like button, leave a comment to help with the algorithm. Like I said, the balance has been search or mostly channel feed kind of stuff, where it's existing channel supporters, channel subscribers that are watching. So the algorithm piece has only just boosted it a little bit. Need a lot more. The first 3 episodes is really where that matters. After that, whoever enjoys will just continue to come back and they'll watch it, and it'll be in their feed. The algorithm recognizes that you're watching a series, but it's the first 3 episodes that initiate that. Again, thanks for being here. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Patient. Ooh. 3 just died. 3. 19 and 12. What the heck just happened? Yikes, bad way to go out. Now we're only plus 7. Which means we're only plus 2 on the day. Yikes. Alright, well, have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.